Welcome back to the Star Wars Stuff podcast, where we talk about all things Star Wars. My name is James.
My
Craig
name is
Five
Zach.
standing
No,
by.
Craig, you always. I'm just kidding. My name is
We
Zach.
we always say at the beginning we need to figure out who speaks first. Like we always joke about it because it's a great line in the Force Awakens. Who talks first? You talk first, but we never do. And then as soon as it says going live, I'm just like, we don't know who's going to talk first, and so
And
that's
here we
why you
are.
always hear. And here we are. But yes, here we are, Star Wars Stuff podcast. Like I said, I talk about all things Star Wars. Before we get started, we have to thank our amazing patrons. Let me see if I can get this. Oh, never mind. That just magically happened. We got to thank Leah McCallion, Kevin Leininger, Devin McCaffrey, Maya Morris, Adam Haber, Cam from Indiana, Mariana Atia Arnold, Alex Blundell, Indiana Solo, BC Dumit, Sean Smith, and Adriana Verano. I think I said her name wrong, and I am so sorry if I said your name wrong because I think Mary gave us the phonetic how to say her
I think
name.
she did.
Yeah, and I'm so sorry. If you unsubscribe, I totally understand. But yes, yeah, how are y'all doing? Y'all doing great? Y'all ready for a fun show
We're
today?
good. We're
Yeah,
excited.
super exciting show today, guys.
So we're gonna do something a little different. We got a guest actually in our waiting room right now. We can see him. He's there, but don't worry, he will be here in a couple of seconds. We just gotta say a few things, and then funny how we met him. But of course, we'll explain that story here in a second. He attended Juilliard Drama School. He graduated from Juilliard in class of 2010. Uh, got his start at 6 years old performing in operas and musicals around Sarasota Youth Opera. Got his start in TV in Chicago Fire. Also was in the show Russian Doll. He's also been in Tales of the City, the show You, and the 8th and final season of Arrow. But recently, he has been in a show from a galaxy far, far away called The Acolyte. Ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Barnett.
Hey.
Woo.
Hey.
What-
Woo.
Oh my gosh, the buildup.
Well,
It's
yeah, I
worth
mean,
it.
come on.
You're worth it, man.
You're,
You
yeah,
got-
you're worth it, man. You're
got
worth,
an
how are
amazing
you
resume.
today?
I'm blushing now, Jesus. I'm good. I'm in Sarasota, Florida too, so that was a nice big up on the Sarasota Youth Opera House. I
Oh,
appreciate
yeah, absolutely.
Let's go.
How did you
Yeah.
get your start there? If you don't just, I mean, I know we're gonna get into it like
Yeah.
really
Oh,
soon,
cool.
but yeah, how did
Well-
you jump into that one?
That has nothing to do with Star Wars, so thus I will not discuss. Okay. My family is so we're in Florida. My dad's a boat builder, was a boat builder for a long time, for sailboats mostly, and some motorboats. But my sister and I started sailing when we were, I mean, I want to say like 4 or 5, like really, really young, in Opties, and they're like tiny little boats for sailors. They're like tiny little sails, they're cute. And my sister was like a champion sailor. She was incredible, and can I cuss? Am I allowed to cuss?
I mean, not too harshly.
Yeah.
Just PG cussing. Yeah.
Clarify from the beginning. My sister was freaking incredible. She was just like an unbelievable sailor, and I sucked. I was real bad. Literally at one point, I think my rudder got caught on a buoy, and like I was beating her for the first time probably in my life. And then she passed me, and I got so angry that I got out of the boat and swam ashore. And I said, I will never, ever sail again. Like the whole ride home, my mom and dad worked at the time, and they were like, well, you need to do something for summer camp. Like, you need to do something. And like after school and stuff, so I joined opera. It was like theater or sailing in our town. Like,
Wow.
Wow.
a lot of like snowbirds move down here. So you sail,
Yeah.
or you go see theater, support the arts.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
So the
Awesome.
opera house, one of the big ones, and yeah.
And so you were like in elementary school at the time?
I was probably 6. I was definitely, is that elementary school? I don't even know anymore. Jeez.
Yep. That's like
Yeah.
kindergarten, first grade.
Like, Zach, you just had a baby, right? You should know.
Yeah. He's not quite 6, but he's getting there.
It will sneak up on you. That's all I hear. I don't have
For
kids.
real.
That's what they say. Yeah, I was young. Yeah. I just watched a video of myself, a VHS of the first.
What's that?
Oh,
Man,
I'm just kidding.
You will not find it anywhere. Trust me. And I will refuse to ever put this out because it is deeply embarrassing. But it's like me at 6 years old in an opera called The African Jigsaw. And I'm a shoe shiner, and I sing a solo about shining shoes. It's a lot.
That's awesome.
Beautiful. as one does, starting off early in the career. That's
first roles, always memorable ones.
so.
Somebody's got a
have,
copy of that tape.
I have it, and no one else will, and no one else. I will burn every single other one of them.
He's just like George Lucas in the holiday special. He's got to make sure nobody sees that thing. So I'm going to let Zach take over here in a second, because how y'all met Charlie is pretty funny. We met in San Antonio coming up, 2-3 weeks ago already. Time is flying by pretty quickly. Zach, take it away.
Yeah, so I guess it kind of started off. This was the Saturday of the convention. So, it's the busiest day. There's a sea of people everywhere. And Craig came back from a photo op he had, and he had these really cool Lord of the Rings shirts. And Mary and myself were sitting at the booth, and Mary's like, where did you get those? I want to go see them. And I'm like, I'll just tag along. So we go and we walk up to this booth where the t-shirts were. Not to discredit the t-shirts, but someone specific distracted us as we were walking up to the booth. And Craig was like, hey, I think that's Charlie Barnett. I'm like, oh my gosh, it is. And Mary was like, oh my gosh, it is. And we saw you walking. I think you were wearing like a yellow shirt or like a bright tan or something like that. Yeah. And you kept kind of walking, and Craig just kind of put his hands in his pocket, looked at us and smiled and kept following you. And we're like, don't bug him. Don't bug him. He's got stuff to do. And he just kept walking. And I'm like, oh, darn it, son.
I was doing exactly what you were doing. I was wandering, looking for t-shirts. It was lovely.
I gotta say hi. You take those moments. You gotta shoot your shot.
100%. So Craig ended up following you, not to sound creepy, but we followed the same path, I guess, let's put it that way. And I went right behind Craig, and we kind of left Mary in the dust inherently. And she was looking at t-shirts, kind of looked up and like, oh, we're gone. And then all of a sudden, Craig catches up to Charlie, and there's another fan on the show floor, and we just started chatting, and we're like, oh my gosh, we're talking to Charlie Barnett in the middle of the show floor. And it was just an incredible, just easygoing conversation. We're thankful you stopped and talked to us, and it
has to be said. I mean, because this was my first con experience, and I didn't know that. I didn't know that there were like rules or like I don't know that if there's like hierarchy or all that kind of BS. But I was like, I'm also a fan. I want to go buy stuff for my family. I'm gonna go walk around, and I didn't know that it was like this isn't normal. You don't just like get up from your table and go and like hang out with people then afterwards. And I thought, I was like, oh, this is it. This is part. I mean,
some people do.
It's good. I'm glad to hear that. I was like, I didn't see. Yeah.
One of the funniest parts of the story is that Zach is like 6'6", and he was afraid to talk to you.
That's true. I was.
Like the most kind, generous one out of all. I mean,
you hear that, guys?
Yeah. Take note. We had spent the night that we met David the night before. Like, was that the night? Wasn't that the night before? Am I crazy? Yeah. I mean, can't remember.
I was not there, but I know you met David. It was either that night or the night before. Those days all kind of meshed together. But y'all all met David and talked to David.
We talked to him for like 2 hours outside. Yeah, me, Iman, I mean, I went through everything. Iman even turned to me at one point, actually, but good props on him for trying to protect me. He was like, hey, just FYI, like maybe you shouldn't say everything to I was like, oh yeah, sorry. We're like talking to press. I got it. But it was great. You guys were so warm, welcoming, excited. I mean, Mary as well. Everybody. It was just such a great first experience, and especially coming off. Let's not hide away from the elephant in the room. The Acolyte had ups and downs, and the reception was up and down. Yeah. And getting to experience that, because I was so terrified for so long to go into it, to jump into that pool, even being a fan myself, but getting to feel the kind of love and appreciation, and to talk out this, you know what I mean? Like actually have conversations with people who disagreed and like talk about it, not just sit behind, a screen and yell at people about it. Just it's like I love in those moments to be like, I disagree with you and I love you, and it's so much fun. And we can move forward.
That's great that you're able to do that. It's like no matter what you do, some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it. It doesn't matter what it is. You see the criticism with everything these days.
And if anything, push it to make something better. You know what I mean? Like and let me audition, please. Thank you.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, we definitely appreciate you sharing that, Charlie, and we're just thrilled to have you on. This is I don't know how to. I'm kind of stumbling a little bit because I'm just so like, we're here, we're doing this, we're chatting with Charlie Barnett. Like, this is incredible. We're really, really thankful for this opportunity. But to kind of dive into a couple of the questions we got, we have all told our Star Wars story on the show between us hosts. I guess we kind of want to ask you, what is your first experience with Star Wars? What's your first Star Wars memory? What kind of, I guess, tell us about that point in your life, whatever you can remember at your earliest age.
I feel like it's super. I think, like many people, it's super special to me. It's super nostalgic to me, but it's not very different from anyone else's. My father was an inlet, you know what I mean? Like, and I love that kind of generational trickle down of Star Wars. We're seeing it happen again. It's what makes it so everlasting and vibrant, and why there are so many different cooks in the kitchen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So many different opinions of what it needs to be and what it represents for each one of us. But that connection between, like, you see it with your best friends in theaters or your family, or it's the human relation to who you go with or who it was that you were there with the first time you see it, especially in Star Wars, is important to me. And so my dad introduced it to me first. And when we went to see episode 1, I did not see the original trilogy first. I know, so sorry. But I saw episode 1 and I remember, you can shut me off because I'll talk for a while. you recognize this winner in San Antonio.
Go right ahead.
Okay. I remember watching it and, like, I liked it. It was fun. It was amazing. It was cool, but it was a movie. You know what I mean? It was like, I think Lord of the Rings was coming out next year after that or something, 2 years after that. So, and then, so there were a lot of it was the time of Blockbuster, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of things going on. I was like, yeah, it was a cool movie. But I left being like, why did they put Pinhead in Star Wars? Because I could not understand. I was like, Darth Maul must be Pinhead, and they took out the pins and he bled, and that's why. And I could not, because I was 11 or something. I was like, I couldn't put it together. And either way, I then went the next year, which again on May 16th, I think is when they came out, was episode 2. And the pod racing got me, and I started playing the games quickly after it. My neighbor, I remember, bought it, and we played it religiously. But seeing Naboo and seeing, I think it was a little Natalie Portman in there too, but going the underwater world, I don't know why at the time I live in Florida, boating, maybe I was just, it wasn't the Jar Jar of it as much as props, but the Naboo underwater world hooked me hard. And from then my dad brought me to the originals. We sat and watched it at home with my sister, of course. And then I kind of had a break, I feel, from it, because I didn't go as deep as a lot of fans. And I had a neighbor that went really, really deep. But what brought me back in, I got married. My husband was, and I have to say this, he's not a diehard fan. He very clearly wants me to always say he's not don't test him. But he enjoys it. He loved it. He grew up with it. And it would be the thing where it'd be whenever we didn't have a movie to watch, I'd be like, please, we cannot watch Star Wars again. And it would be it would be Lord of the Rings or Star Wars, just freaking nightly, yo. He had a Jedi costume. And see, every time I would be like, you're a fan. And he'd be like, no, I'm not. And I'd find a Jedi costume. And I'd be like, what are you talking about, bro? You're a fan. And from that, I started, it just, partnership. I started wanting to be interested in deeper, or at least have deeper conversations about the Force and the science behind the shit. And so I started watching the animated shows, and that is where I feel I arrived as Charlie Barnett is a fan now. Clone Wars, Rebel, Bad Batch, that junk solidified me hard. I don't know why. I'm sorry, go on.
Did you have a favorite of the 3?
Oh, Bad Batch all day, every day, all day.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's just so there's one half of it that's, as an actor, I really like watching animated series. I like documentaries and I like animated series because it takes me out. You know what I mean? Like I'm watching television shows or movies and I'm like, it's not that I get caught up in the, oh, I know how they built that, or like, how did they do that stunt? Or I get caught up in the kind of like, what is that actor thinking about having to get to that moment, and like what would I do? It just pulls me into me. It's kind of like selfish, I feel like. Like I feel like I go into like, what would I do in that thing? And because it's your work and you're thinking about the work of it. And don't get me wrong, there are brilliant TV shows and movies. I'm watching Family Matters religiously right now, so you know I go back. But documentaries and animation always let me just lose it all. And so really connection between that and then seeing how they start off. I mean, each one of them starts off as like, yeah, we're going to pitch it to like a preteen base. You know, we're going to make it so like younger kids can get into this. And then it flips and it gets so deep. I mean, Bad Batch, I was crying like every 2 episodes. There's beautiful things happening every, it was amazing. It's amazing. Sad to see it go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's incredible. The Bad Batch is one of my favorites too. The animated side of Star Wars is probably overall my favorite. I mean, I love it all, don't get me wrong, but I grew up with the Clone Wars. That was the first movie I saw in theaters, was the Clone Wars movie in 2008. And because I was too young to see the prequels, but it was, yeah, I relate a lot to what you're saying, Charlie, with all the animated stuff. So that's super cool. That really pumps me up. So it just gives you more of a reason to love you, in my opinion. So
Season 7 of Clone Wars was just incredible, especially that Darth Maul arc on Mandalore. I mean, that was as good as like one of the movies for me.
Yeah.
Those 3 or 4 episodes. What is it, 4, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And it leads right into Order 66. It's just incredible.
Orders in that moment, man. It's like my mouth was just like, and like, you know, that's the cool thing too. You know everything that's coming between those. You know what I mean? Like we know where we're going to get. We know what's going to have to happen. We know moments in between, and it's just like still surprised. So cool.
Yeah, it gets me every time. Still watching your buddies get killed.
Left and right.
Well, you knew Kiara Monday.
Yeah.
It's true.
So,
Craig, did you want to ask him a question?
Some questions?
Oh, yeah. No, we got a couple more for sure.
Do what you got to do.
Charlie, I'm sure it was an incredible moment when you realized you were first going to be in a Star Wars. Can you tell us about what that was like, and when you got the call, or where you're at, what you were doing, who you were able to tell, if anyone?
Yeah. I was in LA. I remember I got a call from Leslie. Leslie and I had worked together on Russian Doll, and Leslie called me. This is what, like 2-3 years after, and she had started working on Star Wars like the day after we finished season 1 of Russian Doll. So it was like she'd been working on it 2 years up until she called me and was like, I have this role that I want you to do, and like Disney wants you to audition. I don't want you to audition. And I was like, Leslie, this is for Star Wars. Like, I'm okay with auditioning. I feel like it. But I was so thankful to her. I mean, she's one of my favorites. And I auditioned, and I remember just being like, I was in one of those moments as an actor. I'm sure a lot of people can understand this from any position, not just in this field, but I was in one of those pits. I was like, nothing's happening. I can't do this anymore. Nobody wants me. Like, you know, the cycle. And I went to my manager's, who's one of my closest friends, Amelie Echeninis, her house at like 10 o'clock because I've been fighting it all day. And I was like, why me? They're going to cast some, like, you know, one of those boys from that hockey show. Or I mean, this is obviously be fun, but this is like, they're not gonna pick me. Like, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. But I did it. I get there, a dog starts barking in the background, so it's like the whole way through the audition is a dog barking, and I'm trying to be Yord. And like, they also don't tell you. They send you scripts that are like nothing about what you're gonna be doing, so you have to try and figure out who you are from like nothing. And I sent it, and I was like, well, that's going nowhere. Like, let it go. And maybe a month later, I got a call from Leslie, and she's like, "Hey, are you ready to go to London?" And I was like, "What? What?"
Wow.
And I remember the most excited I was to tell was my husband. I mean, like, it just felt like something for us that was like gonna be so special because it had been like this thing that I made was a joke about. I don't want to watch that movie again in bed, 50 times over. And now he's brought me into it, and now I'm a fan, deeper in my own right, that I get to like challenge him on stuff. And now it's like, now I'm gonna be a part of it. Like, what the heck? It was crazy. It was crazy. But the funniest one, yeah.
I was just gonna say, you could say, "What? Listen, I'm a Jedi. You can't argue with me."
Trust me, for some of the fandoms out there, I know that even being a Jedi, I know less than most of the people. happily. But the funniest one was my grandma. I called my grandma, and I was so excited. I was like, it's gonna happen, Grandma. This is gonna be the moment. I'm gonna be in Star Wars. And I remember her. This is so bad. I shouldn't say this publicly, damn. But I'm here. We're doing it. I remember her first saying, "Oh, wait, is that the one with no black people?" And I was like, "No, no, Grandma. They do have some black people in it. Lando, he's in there. All right. Lupita, technically, but Lupita in it. And she was like, "Oh," she's like, "Okay. She's like, yes, I remember this one. I remember this one. It's the George Lucas one." And I was like, "Yes." And I was like, "And look, I'm half black. We doing this." Sorry.
No,
No,
you're
that's
good,
great,
man.
man.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
Love grandma.
Kind of segueing into the next question. Is there anything you could tell us about your experience with putting on your Jedi robes, or what the design for the character looked like, or if you had any sway in changing things about Yord that were different from the concept art, or something you were like, could you put your own twist on the physical appearance of Yord, and did you have any impact on what he looked like on screen?
Yeah, oof. Jennifer was our designer. I should pull up her last name, but I'm blanking right now. Jennifer is unbelievable, and she was taking stuff from the High Republic books really to try and turn this into what visual world from the Disney, from outside of the canon, kind of like into the canon world. I think she did like an unbelievable job. And there's something about, I think I said it at the con when we were on the stage doing the interviews. There's something about putting on, obviously the lightsaber is incredibly powerful in your hands, but putting on the robe, putting on the belt, the hilt, the boots, like those. I'm one of those actors too who just, when you put on the shoes, you feel you've done all the work, and now you put on the clothes, and it's just like a cherry on top of the ice cream. It's like, oh wow, now it all gets to like fall into place and kind of sink in. So for me, it was like meeting with what she was giving, which was already so elevated in my mind. I was just thankful, and I didn't ask for this because I think she just knew that she gave me a cape to be really, Yordi with. Just
Did
too
they
much.
tell you what color lightsaber you were gonna have?
Yeah, they did. They told us pretty early on, maybe within the first, because what we were there for training. Manny was there for training for, I want to say, like 2 months, maybe. Daphne was there a month and a half ish. I was there a month and like 2 weeks, a week. Amandala came, I think, when Daphne came too, or like maybe a little bit before that, because she had been doing training in New York before, and Amandala was doing like a lot. Obviously, she needed to. She had some of the coolest fights in there. And Carrie came right after me as well, and so we had. I mean, our stunt team too. I will praise them into the ends of the earth. But from that, what we had another 2 or 3 weeks before we learned what our lightsabers were, picking what planets we were from, kind of like doing all the little details that Leslie wanted us to just like succinct down for ourselves. I remember I asked for purple, definitely asked for purple. did not get it. I was
You
very
got
happy.
yellow.
I was very happy with yellow. I had to do the research though afterwards. So this was opened the kind of like Kyber crystal conversation to me too. And I went deep into that, and I was like ecstatic to have yellow at that time. Especially, look, I'm biracial. You know what I mean? The duality of the yellow. I felt like I was like, oh, this is it. This is it.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, that's super
I mean,
cool.
Only Ray has a yellow one too, right? That's the only yellow.
There's some people outside of canon, of course. And there's some other High Republic. There's a lot of High Republic characters who do, because that was the era too of like the height. But yeah, like what can I say? Acknowledged characters or like heightened
Like,
characters, right?
Live
Characters
action.
in the live action, live action characters.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Were there any memorable behind the scenes stories that you would want to share with us?
I usually dip onto the one where Daphne puts on my wig. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's like it's made me laugh. It still makes me laugh for days. Seeing Jackie Yord, I guess. There was, I mean, I have good and bad. Which one do you want?
Whatever you're willing to talk about, man.
Share the bad one first.
Bad. I was told not to tell this story, so only because it makes me look bad. It doesn't make anyone look bad. Our stunt team, again, man, Chris Cohen, was our action designer. Mark Ginther was our stunt coordinator, or was he he was stunt coordinator. I think Guillermo Crispo was our fight coordinator, and Lu Wan Chang was our assistant. And they all, I mean, that's not even to mention like Mickey, Darren, we got Cassie, Kalina, Joel, Ben, just one of the most incredible stunt teams. But we had this moment where I'm, using the force, I'm flying off of the ledge, and I think, am I raising up? I'd have to see this scene again, but am I raising up my lightsaber? I don't even know if I pull out my lightsaber, or I use the force to stop
the knives.
May.
Was it?
Yes, thank you. Yes, it's when I stopped the knife. Yes, and I jumped down. So like to do the trick, we had to do a rig. We had to like fly in like a little jumpsuit kind of thing, and they strap you in and jump up and jump down basically. I was like, this is gonna be so easy. This is gonna be so cool. I'm so ready. This is fine. Like, I don't stunt people. Y'all don't need to do nothing. Let me do it all. They strapped me up in that thing, and I'm crazy claustrophobic. I knew this beforehand, but strapping into that thing and then putting like, the robes on top of it. And then my cape was actually like full wool. Everybody else's was like different fabric, which was another cool thing about Jennifer's designs. Everybody had individual different fabrics, different. It was all same, but different worlds, which was really cool. But mine was probably like 40 pounds, super, super, super heavy. And my cape robe. After putting it all on, I freaked. I mean, they can attest. I was like full on. I was like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna suffocate inside of this suit right now on Star Wars on a set. And I don't even know where we were, what planet we were on at that time. But man, it was terrifying. And they all calmed me down and got me to it. And then we did it. And I swear to you, I mean, I would have done it 800 times after that. I was like, this shit is the best. What was I scared about? This was amazing. Like, strap it in tighter. I'm ready to go. But it was one of those moments where I was like, fear over, it was the fear of being on this set that had meant so much and required so much. And the anxiety of like, if I literally do the force push wrong, I'm going to look like an idiot. It's just all that shit, like just like a well, like washed over me. And then I was like, and I can't breathe. Oh my God. But, a fun one I'll tell you was the snow. It's kind of stupid too, but whatever. Daphne and I remember, so where were we? It's where Karlak, it's where Osha lands after she crashes the prisoner.
Yeah. Yep.
Transport. And she's running away.
Yes, yeah. And she's like in the snowy fields, right? Because we see Karlak is where do we see Karlak again? We see it somewhere else before that.
Clone Wars, maybe?
Is it? Yes.
Or Bad Batch, was it?
might have been in a bad. I might have been a Bad Batch. I don't know. Somewhere I know we go there, so it's in there beforehand. But yeah, snowy cliffside country or planet, right? And Daphne and I were like, this is gonna be so much fun. We're gonna get in there. It's gonna be like a snow world. We're gonna like make snow angels as Jedi. Like this is gonna be an awesome day of work. And we're gonna be there for like the whole week, right? It was a set that they had built for this one. And we're like, if not snow, then they'll use soap. That's what they do, right? They use soap and sometimes even for rain, they'll use milk. And you know what I mean? To make it so they use like rain milk and like snow. This is gonna be cool. Let's do this. And we get onto set and like they didn't tell us. And we start filming and Daphne and I are like, we're walking through they start blowing this because we rehearse it and then you do it. And rehearsal we didn't have the snow blowing and like the craziness and rain showering down. But they yell action and we start going and Daphne and I immediately are like open mouth, like lightsabers, drawn, like shining the light to get through this like cliff. And like we start inhaling this stuff and realize it's like plastic. It's like shards of plastic. And like immediately JJ starts like, he gets it in his eyes. He can't see. Like Daphne are choking in the background. It was horrible, 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 horrible. But not that funny, but funny to me in the experience. Not as funny.
Well, it's interesting to hear what you guys go through on set, So
yeah.
The fans love those kind of stories.
Yeah, don't trust the snow. It's plastic. It's not it's not soap. Soap wouldn't have been good to eat either, but it would have been better than plastic shards, I will say.
Oh, that's wild. Kind of. Well, I guess Yord is a really unique type of Jedi. Like we see, I'm sure there's a lot of other Jedi who want to be like Yord in terms of how he handles, following the rules of the Jedi at the time. But in your opinion, or no one probably knows him better than you, right? I mean, what scene would you say Yord is? I guess what scene captures Yord the best and showcases who he really is as a Jedi?
As a Jedi, definitely that first scene in speaking with Osha, in seeing her the first time again since the last time that he had seen her, and maintaining. For me, it's a reflection of him maintaining his positioning over his personal. You know what I mean? And which is obviously a deep seed to the Jedi in general. That represents him best as a Jedi. What represents him best as a person, though, is the moment that Soul gives Jackie's character authority over Yord. It's the moment before we see the stranger in his little lair, like right before the knife pull moment even too. And I suggest that we should like bombard and just go raid him and pull him in basically. And Soul's like, I don't know about that. And Jackie's character, I think on like the speaker comes on and is like, we should do this. Yord's being an idiot, basically.
Yeah.
Like, the fuck? I'm sorry. What the heck? What did you say? And that's definitely the moment that I'm like, that's like that's the child inside of Yord.
Yeah.
He's like, he can't understand. Like, I've been here and I've been in this position for so long. Her authority has no right over this decision right now, Soul. What's going on, dude?
Yeah.
This is not within the rights of the bounds of what we follow. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, no, we definitely see Yord do a lot of cool things from, some hand-to-hand combat, some lightsaber fighting to steaming his own robes. Like we see some pretty sweet stuff that we don't see everyone get to do. But how much of Yord's humor came from the script versus your own performance choices?
That's so hard. It's a blend, man. It's like, I truly believe every character you create you can't escape a part of yourself that's going to be breathing life into it. But I love getting as far away as I can. But Yord, I don't steam my clothes, but I'm pretty anal too. That bad word. I'm pretty strict on myself. I'm pretty strict in general. I keep a clean house, so there's a lot of relations between me and Yord in some respect. But I had a lot of fun as Charlie, kind of living outside of Yord. And because as an actor, I guess you get to make the decisions of where your character ends up, if anything, besides the writer and besides the director and obviously the people who are kind of creating the through line. But I kept trying to push Yord into positions that I knew he would be uncomfortable in because I knew it would be funny. And it was a really hard line then also to not make fun of him. You know what I mean? Because that's at the end of the day, I understand who he is and why it's so important to him, and I love and respect that. And I would never want to see him being made a fool of, but I enjoyed people making fun of him. You know what I mean?
He gets
Yeah.
teased. He gets teased for
Yeah.
his quirks,
Yes.
but they still know that, you know, he's honorable and he follows a code and stuff like that.
I mean, he's the guy in the room who cares too much. You know what I mean? It's you care. We all see that you care so dang much, and it's just like I remember my mom. I came home in like middle school crying one day. You know, kids making fun of me, and she's like, "Charlie, you just need to not care. Just show them that you don't care, and it gives you so much power." And I could not understand. I was like, "What? I don't care? What does that mean? What does that even mean?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"That's York. He does not understand what like." That's the most important part of life is caring. You have to show up and do the right things, and then if everyone has to do it, we all have to do this. And he sees so many people doing it their own ways, and he's like, I don't get, and how are they succeeding? I don't understand. Yeah, he's that guy.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a very quirky character.
Yeah.
So
In
let
the
me
best
ask you
way
this.
possible.
I was gonna say, if you got to play any other character in Star Wars in any other film or show, who would you pick?
Ooh, see, when you said questions, it was for only the acolyte, so I was like, definitely the stranger. But now, damn. I mean, Yoda's like that's if I could be anyone in life, I would be Yoda. Wow, that's really hard. Anakin. I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, like, it's just not young. Can I play like Hayden Christensen?
Yeah. You pick.
I just like I was gonna pick the stranger because of the dichotomy. Like, he is that as an actor, you're playing two roles, and you're a good guy and a bad guy, and it's comedy and it's drama, and it's like you're doing everything. Anakin's arc is like that's a challenge, yo. That's like I want to rise to that. Like, it's hard to be the savior and also like the failure at the same time. It's like, oh, that's a role. That's some Hamlet shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That the character's going through so much internally.
Yeah.
You know, he's this incredible hero, but at the same time, he's feeling this really strong pull.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just it's the kind of, it's why, I mean, the storytelling of this whole arc of this whole series is what at the core for me, what's the most important, it's the most fun to go into. It's what all the discussions are about, right? It's like, well, no, this means this, and if this is this storyline, and then we get to this point, and this has to be this. It's like, I love all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm definitely drawn to the characters who are gonna live through the ups and downs.
Yeah. Kymir's story was great too.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
It was so interesting because he plays this very kind of carefree, almost like a doofus like character. And then all of a sudden it's like he's this really vicious, cutthroat, dark lord. You're just like, whoa.
You know what I love though? Like, because Manny is such a sweet guy in general. He's such a kind, generous soul. And those parts, even as the dark side of it, like it was twisted in such a different, like he was still, you could still see his I don't want to say meekness, but you could still see his like softness as even as the stranger. You know what I'm saying? Like I just love the blends of, like, I saw parts of the bad in Chimera, I saw parts of the good in the stranger, and like I thought he did a really, really good job with playing into all those worlds. I mean, Manny had a mountain on top of his shoulders, and he rose to it. The fights alone, I'll be like, you can't come from Manny. You can't come from Manny.
You know what I think about with the stranger / Chimere's character? It's like, as far as him as like, if he was a person, a real living person, what would he be like all the time? What would be his personality be like normally? Is he more
as
like
a stranger?
Yeah. Is he
not as Chimera? Yeah, right.
Which one is he normally if he's just, you know, living his life? Which is his most authentic personality traits?
I don't know, but that makes me think of, you need to create a spin-off show of just like, I want to see Palpatine take a shower. Like, well, that's weird. I was like, see like Palpatine make a ham sandwich. Like I want to see like what is Darth Maul doing for bedtime routines. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
and we'll call them that. We'll say this is Palpatine taking a shower, Palpatine
So this is
making a sandwich, and it's just a
this is
5
going to
minute
be the
video
new
of
What
him
If
doing that.
spinoff that they've been talking about.
what if
Everyone's gonna be so
What
confused.
if villains live the life you live? Yes.
Isn't that just it's so interesting to me, like thinking what would Chimera be like just going shopping at the market? Is he angry? Does he want to strangle everybody?
I don't know. I that is a Manny question for sure, but I would love to know more about it. I'm sure I can tell you that boy goes deep on his homework, and I bet you he has an idea. I bet you. Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Goodness, that man, just hearing these stories, you know, I'm sure like our listeners are loving it too. We're loving it in the moment here, but it's like we could
Sorry
sit and
for
listen to this all day, dude. No, dude, that's why you're here, man. We're here to listen to you ramble, as much as it, I guess, as weird as that might sound, but
I would love to have seen, because we're talking about Chimera and the Stranger, what was going to happen with Plagueis.
Oh, jeez. This is like the most dangerous question I feel like I can answer. What do you think?
What do I think would happen? I don't know. At first, I thought that Chimera had trained with Plagueis.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's things that I know. Look, we're not having the season 2, so it's like this. The sad part of it is like, I don't know that those questions will ever be answered. And there's like, there were definitely things that floated around that I would love to tell you in a private position. I certainly don't want to say it in public because I don't want to get Leslie. I don't want to get anybody shredded for thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I had my own questions because the other half of it is that Daphne and I die, right? And spoiler alert, sorry, anybody.
Yeah. By the way, that death was crazy. Both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we talk about that for a second? But we'll go
yeah.
back. Daphne and I died, and we were not given any more scripts. Like I had to sneak, and I like cornered Leslie one day to be like, what is, because I was convinced, I can tell you this, I was convinced, I was like, you're not gonna make the Stranger Plagueis, right? Like, are we doing that? Like, is his face gonna, like, that's a totally different species. Like, how are we gonna make that work? And I was confirmed that was not happening. And even saying that, I'm like, oh God, I should let this thing down. The other part of it, who was it? There was I was listening to this like 2 nights ago. Screen Crush. Have you guys ever watched any of the Screen Crush videos? Screen Crush had one from like a year ago talking about Plagueis and talking about Plagueis being on the show. I mean, his finger work, the fingers are great. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But Screen Crush had some ideas in there that I was like, interesting, right in line. In my opinion of what was going to happen. But this is like, I only have limited information. I think that they were going to try and connect all the dots. I mean, and first and foremost, connect the dot of like the resurrection kind of question of like how Palpatine comes back was going to be, I think, through lined into the second season and understanding what Plagueis can do. Because he talks about that in
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, Revenge is the third one. Yeah, and we never really got a tap of that, and then Palpatine just comes back, right? So I thought a lot of that was going to be answered through it, and that's what kind of Screen Crush kind of goes into, talking about it in such a great way. It's a great video. He shredded us, PS, for a little bit, but then he gives us some love at the end. So thanks, bro. But what else can I say that I don't? The Sith have been in hiding. You all know this, and they're trying to come back, and they're working against. This is the other thing that I love about George's whole idea, that like the Force in itself is like Mother Nature, and it kind of balances itself out, even if there is. And a lot of people like what this opens the whole conversation about good and bad, and whether the Force is actually inherently good, or if it's bad, or if it has a yin and a yang kind of availability to it. I love those talks. So anyone, if you see me on the streets, let's talk. I'm the game. But I don't know at the end of the day what Leslie was planning to do entirely. I'm pretty sure, like in my mind, it seems to allude that like either he had some effect on Manny's character. I don't know that he is his direct Sith Lord. You know what I mean? We don't know that. But he could be, and they're always allowed to have two acolytes, so literally.
Well, this was 100 years before which episode? Before episode 1?
Yeah.
That's what we've said, but I think that's even a little flexible. But base it off of maybe Yoda's age is probably the most succinct, but we don't know how old he is.
So, but Palpatine, he wouldn't be alive at this time.
No.
So.
No, but Manny talks about too how old he is as well, and so it's like that's another thing of like the Sith. We don't really know. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know all this stuff, and now I'm getting into atmosphere that I probably I know who blew up the Death Star. God, Jar Jar Binks blew up the Death Star. JK, just dig my grave. We don't know necessarily how long Sith can live, and that's kind of part of the open question. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe he is around longer than we actually know of. I don't know.
Yeah, because Venestra was old too, right? Wasn't she like a few hundred years old or something like that? 300 years old, something like that?
Yeah, but that's what her species. This one I might have to look up, but I think her species also lived pretty late.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't remember what she was, but I mean, she's green. I'd have to look that up, but yeah.
It sounds like maybe they would have explored that story a little bit because she knew.
I was hoping. I mean, like, I didn't get to read, and Leslie even told us at the beginning, she's like, you guys don't need to read the High Republic books. If you have, it's totally fine. There's a lot of them, and a lot of them are going in many different directions. There's a couple different writers even, I think, who flow in on some of them. And not to mention in the comics is a whole other situation. But I know that, we see so much of Venestra in that world. And so I think the fandom itself of that world definitely wanted to know more and more of her. Because she's definitely, like, you see her enough and she's a pinnacle point, but, like, there's more underneath there. Not to mention the whip, Yeah.
What did you think about how the show kind of ended? Like your personal opinion with like them like blaming it all kind of on Saul.
Do you think that they blamed it all on him?
Well, I kind of got that feeling.
Yeah, I mean,
like he was a scapegoat, right?
That is my point. That it's like from a wider scope, it's the council. It's the problems within the Jedi Council and the how big it has gotten, how controlling it has been, how overreaching it is now that it doesn't even have the time to step back and see what it's like, what it's affecting. You know what I mean? That it was like through his actions, through what he thought was, supposed to be the right choice, he was doing what he was taught, and that sometimes the lessons don't align. It's kind of what I got from it.
I felt like Venestra was trying to push it on Saul because she mentions in like, I don't know, maybe episode 1 about the political this against us. So it was like more like hiding it so they didn't have a big scandal on their hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like saving the organization. There is, look, if you're trying to dig for the Venestra thing, especially the thing that we talked about in private, I know my ass is not going to say it, but I mean, like in a political sense, I think she was trying to save the party. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rather than trying to save the person or the situation, which would have been the twins, right at the end of the day. But it like opens up the wider conversation of, look, the Jedi, no matter what, doing good by whatever means that they think are good, they're still technically abducting children from families and taking them to train them. There's like a lot of things that within the organization that are like, if you look at it on page, like front page, what am I trying to say? On in front of you, in front page, in front of your face, then you'll be like, that's not great.
No, and I'm a therapist too, and so I find that very interesting because when a lot of times when people are removed from their families at a young age, it causes a lot of trauma.
Mm-hmm. Look, in deeper depth, I was adopted, and I was 4 hours old when I was adopted, so very similar to a Jedi. I'm kidding. jokes.
But you know, it would be make you kind of reflect on and think like what it might be like.
Yeah, and I can tell you, I think all of us as people have, you know, I don't mean this to diminish it, but quote unquote traumas, like literal fill in the blank of what your experience is from a young age, from growth, from anything. And I'm not sure how much. I have an incredible family. I'm now connected with my birth family through most of them. And trying to figure out those relationships as well. But like, you know, my adoptive parents were in the other room, my parents, and
Yeah.
but I cannot emphasize enough. I still have trauma from being adopted, and I don't even know where to begin, where it is. You know what I'm saying? And I only bring that in reflection of this, you know, this made up story, but it's why we all relate to it. When I heard that I was like, oh my gosh, Jedi are adopted. When I was like,
Yeah.
oh wow, deep.
I remember my wife, that was one of the first things she said. She goes, they're the Jedi are kind of, and the Acolyte really showed it. She said she first noticed it in the Ahsoka series whenever we see a young Ahsoka stand up and you just go, oh my gosh, she was a child. And the Jedi were like, you're a commander in the war now. And she's like, not even, you know, she's like, what, 13, 14, leading a battalion. And she goes, they're children. And then we watched the Acolyte and she was like, the Jedi are not that cool. And then you go, well, yeah, and then you start thinking about it, you go, oh, and then at the end of Revenge of the Sith, you go, oh, this was ultimately all leading to the downfall of the Jedi. And then of course we have the New Hope, which is Luke. But it's interesting to watch the Acolyte and to see how y'all's characters are doing what you, like you said, what you think. This is, I am following the rules, I am doing what I have to do because that's what I was taught. But then us as the viewers are like, oh, okay, that was the beginning of the end for what we knew as the Jedi at that point.
I left being like a lesson that I've tried to take into life everywhere, that it's, no matter what path you think you're on, you should always be questioning it. You should always take a moment to say, is this right? Is what I'm doing right? You know what I mean? Like, we're constantly thinking. It's not a hard muscle to keep moving, to be like, hey, is what's happening, does it align with what I'm doing? Because in it, there's no judgment to define yourself as a Jedi and then realizing like, oh wow, this path is now becoming limited. It's changed, and maybe this isn't the right path for me here. You know, this is getting into like much deeper conversation.
No, but it's really interesting when you do think about that, and you know,
think of Ahsoka. Ahsoka's the perfect blend of like, I'm a little bit, I agree with certain things, but I'm gonna do this on my own way. Like, and that's why she's fucking amazing. I'm sorry, cursing.
Oh yeah, Ahsoka's one of my favorite characters too.
Great character.
But even when I think about like Anakin and what makes him snap, right? It's like the loss of mom. And for me, I wonder when mom died in his arms, did it create a multiple personality? The trauma creates multiples for many people. And so that's how, and then you hear the music of Darth Vader at the time. So it's like, and then you have the loss of mom, that trauma, it's like it creates this altar of Vader, which would be like a separate person.
I mean, what they talk about, actually, Green Crush, I think, talks about it too, but this duality of the Force too, and like finding the duality within one being and one soul. Like the twins are, they're not literal, they are a literal, factual like version of that. They were split. They are one being made into two. Which sides of the Force they represent is like, that shit kind of tosses up, you know what I mean? From their experiences, from their situation, which is like so true to humanity. Like, right, we all can relate to that. We change from our everyday. It's just so cool to me. But yes, I agree with you. I think Anakin literally, I mean, even when Padme, like he breaks from so many, there's so many breaks that come, but it exposes these two parts of himself that kind of become, it doesn't die. Obviously, we see him return, you know, before he does die, for that little blink of a minute. But, and it's almost great because then you see the reflection of it with Rey and Kylo Ren, right? And it's almost like the reverse of it, and then Kylo Ren, like almost alter bleeds his lightsaber into, you know, like, I was like, oh wow, boo 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 boo. It's all like, I love the like this can be this, and then next week it's going to be this, because things change, and you have to look at it in a different way. You know, in people in the same sense.
Yeah, the complexities of it, and the like the power that they get drawn into, like the light side or the dark side, really makes it interesting for those characters. You know, I think that's part of the reason Anakin's so interesting.
I mean, how many times have you found yourself feeling like you are following the light in your own life? I know I'm doing the right thing, and you end up getting to the end of whatever it is and be like, oh, that was wrong. That I made a mistake there. That was wrong, and I need to make amends. It's like I mean, I know I've done that. I mean, like, we're all human, but I think that is the same path. Like, it's you think that you're doing the light, and you're actually, or you think you're doing the wrong, and you're actually like maybe helping. I don't know.
Well, that's an interesting. It's like when you think about like even like the characters like Palpatine, from their twisted perspective, what they're doing is right, which is crazy to think.
But that's what he thinks. He thinks it will be a better service for humanity in this situation. Like, it's almost like screw all the BS and the mirrors. Like, this is all pain, and so like let's live in pain is kind of what I feel like he's trying to create. And I don't live like that. I can tell you that. I would rather live on the side, but thanks, Tom.
Yeah. Well, and we hear
and greed. You know what I mean? He also wants to be the ruler of the entire.
Oh yeah. Well, and it's, you know, hopefully someday we can hear a little bit more about Manny's character and his influence on, I guess, the future of the Sith from that point on, because he's talking to Soul, like after the big, you know, like when there's the big action scene in episode 5 and everyone's fighting and they kind of get a break and chat, like not chat, they're having banter with each other. And Kymir's like, I don't want to have to answer to the Jedi. I want to use my power however I want without being forced to do it one way or another. Which is a little bit of a different perspective from what Palpatine does, because Palpatine wanted to just be in control, but it sounds like Manny, you know, Kymir, the stranger, like Manny's character, wanted to just truly live in that reality and not have any repercussions and just kind of do what he wanted to do. So it's
someone had brought up to the idea that Kymir's character becomes the Knights of Ren, like
yes,
the head of basically what Kylo Ren's like kind of through line. And I was like, honestly, that would make sense. That had never been mentioned to me. I don't want to say like no, like Leslie, nobody mentioned that to me, but
I think Leslie did say that publicly.
Oh,
right?
really? Oh, okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I think she did say that.
Yeah, that's how I kind of always thought about it. That I was like, he wouldn't necessarily. I didn't see him ever ending up entirely Sith either. I thought,
sure.
And that's the cool, like the Witches of Brendock, and like, you know, all these other kind of like offshoots that are. That was the other cool thing about the animated series. For the first time, I was like, oh, I realized that anybody else can tap into the Force. I didn't really even notice that or acknowledge that or catch it maybe in depth until I started watching the animated series. And I was like, see, that's cool. I thought this was just like the Jedi have it in their pocket kind of thing. But I'm like, I get that, yes. And I know that they mention it a million times that like anyone can tap into the Force. Obi says it a million times, but I'm like, yeah, but I just keep seeing Jedi do it. So now I'm, oh wow, other people, I'm like, wow. Even maybe a Lothcat can get
Why not?
show the Force.
I have a quick question, Charlie. Kind of a broad Star Wars question. What is your favorite Star Wars movie out of all of them? Even the stories, all of them. What's your favorite Star Wars movie?
I kind of hate this question. Because it's like individually for each one, there's like something that's special. And you know what I mean? Like each one of them has a moment. I think Rogue One is one of the best movies. I just think it's like structurally the challenges that they faced in doing it, and structurally it is one of the best made. Because they didn't have, I don't mean this as a negative thing, but the kind of like cliches, which is like the lightsabers, they didn't have the Jedi, they didn't have the things that we always go to think of when you like want to bring your friend who's never seen a Star Wars movie and you're like, but you'll like it just because of this, like it's gonna be fun. They didn't have that. And I mean, they had the action, they had the space, maybe those parts, but I thought they really did a great job at creating a world in which I, as a human being, could see myself in very easily. Because that I'm like, okay, this is the world I would be living in if I was in this world today, you know. And I just loved that part of it. It was really fun. I mean, Return of the Jedi has the Ewoks too, and that's always the Ewoks, you know. So probably the two of them.
All right.
Wait, what are your?
I love Rogue One also.
Yeah, so good. What are your favorites? Just out of curiosity.
Zach,
Mine
what's
is
your favorite?
Empire.
Empire.
Revenge of the Sith for me.
Oh wow. Yes. I mean, yeah. Nostalgia. Yeah.
Yeah,
You can see the
Empire. I
poster
think
behind
is,
me. Painting.
yeah, for me, yeah, Empire Strikes Back's also one of the best. As a kid, I really loved Return of the Jedi. But then I got older and I was like, this movie's pretty good too. And then I fell in love with Empire Strikes Back. I will say Rogue One is my least favorite of the movies, only because I'm like, I just want to get to the third act. I just want to see all the action. I just want to see all the action. But after watching Andor, Rogue One took on a whole new look. And now when I watch Rogue One, I have a lot more respect for that movie, and it's fun. It's a fun movie. Yeah.
Full admittance, I think I fell in love with Rogue One more as I watched Andor. So you might be right.
Yeah.
I might have made that decision after seeing it, but yeah.
That's awesome.
Somebody in our chat over here, you can't see it, but somebody just said Empire is a cliche answer, which I will admit, Empire Strikes Back. You ask anybody, what's your favorite? Empire is like, of course it is. But I will say,
like
Rogue One and Revenge of the Sith are also becoming cliche answers. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Charlie.
The funny thing too is like I have felt that too. That like I mean I kind of started in the animated world, right? But or my love was invested in the animated world, but as I've grown older too, looking back or watching different movies, they're all on AMC. Like so funnily, the last 3 nights they've been playing back to back on AMC. So I was watching them before getting into this. But just rewatching them at different ages and seeing it also changes too. Like, yeah, Return of the Jedi just popped up to my mind because I just watched it and I was like, I can't. Like, come on, Ewoks.
Well, the thing is that each of those movies have like such a great. There's like one scene in there that you're just like, wow, you know what I mean? So
yeah, it's hard
to take it. But for me, the last 30 minutes of Empire just incredible. Starting with the putting Han in carbonite all the way to the duel at the end. It's just nothing tops that for me.
Dang. When sometimes shock factor gets people, like in Rogue One almost everybody dies, right? And a lot of similar things happen in the Acolyte. Almost everybody dies, and there's all this like the shock factor, like as a viewer. Like I remember when Jekki died, like that, like seeing a bunch of the other Jedi die was crazy, but like I didn't expect Jekki to die. I didn't expect Soul to die. I didn't expect Yord to die. Like in the way that it happened, it was like, oh my gosh, like they're really, they're not pulling any punches. Like nobody's safe. Obviously we know, I think Venestra was some of the only connective tissue to like the previous High Republic stuff, but she is much older than what we'd seen her in before. And obviously we see Yoda pop up here and there, and then he pops up at the end of the Acolyte, but we really just didn't know. And it's that shock factor really draws people in, and it's incredible how it can be pulled off in so many different ways and just keep the viewer sitting there kind of scratching their heads like what's going to happen next. We have no idea. So
I'm glad they weren't afraid to go. I mean, I think I definitely credit Leslie to that, because you could have done it in some like kind of offshoot way where, I mean, we know what was going to happen. We know that this is the fall of the Jedi. You know what I mean? We know that this is like entering an era in which they are not at their peak. So how does that happen other than death and destruction? Like it's sad to say, but I'm glad. I mean, maybe we have to give like Game of Thrones. What is it? Lord of the Rings. Game of Thrones a little bit of cred because they started off the like just kill everybody. Oh. Shoot, my camera just disappeared. Are you guys still there?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you. We can't see you though. Uh-oh.
Oh, hey.
Oh, there you are.
There you are.
Oh.
It says it once. Edit allowed. It's allowed. Yes, done. Okay.
I was gonna say the violence that took place during that episode made my mouth literally drop because I wasn't expecting it. And like you said, they could have done it a different way, and they could have done it how some Star Wars projects have done in the past. Mm-hmm. But your death, and of course Jackie's death, it was just like, oh my gosh. And then in the back of my mind, I'm like, that was really good that they did it that way. To, like you said, to show you this is how it's gonna start to fall, and how better to do it than graphic, kind of grotesque, shocking deaths.
Shocking.
Yeah.
I told you I was definitely disappointed at first because I was like, man, I'm Yord. I'm supposed to be this fighter, this amazing soldier. Like, put me in there, coach. Let me do it. And like, I run back to go and try it. I hear Jackie crying, and I'm like, Jackie, I will get you. I will get you. And then I just like leap over the ferns, and then dead, quick and out. And the part of me, like as an actor though, on the outside, I was like, that actually is spot on how Yord should die. He should be coming there with the biggest gusto, and then just one fell swoop. And it just shows how powerful the stranger is. It shows how minuscule this whole the council is at this point on their kind of like frivolousness and not seeing the roots that are violently encroaching into their castle. It's like it was just awesome. From watching it as outside Charlie, I was like, okay, that was cool. When they told me how I was gonna die, I was furious. You kidding me? I just did 3 months of this training. All right, fine. Let's do it. Crack my neck.
But so the training that you did, it played out differently than how you thought it was going to be in the episode?
Well, no, I got to do a lot of it. It's the way that it was shot. If anything, we do so much of it in the background because that giant fight before you see us dying, that whole episode is basically just a battle. And we planned out a very large fight, but the camera was moving around the trees. It's almost like the root system that you're seeing. You just see the lightsaber swinging and hitting and hitting and hitting. That is like a pretty epic, huge fight that I learned. But, at the camera, you only see like snip. Peace, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of at a distance when I think the stranger's fighting like 3 or 4 Jedis at one time, right?
All of us. It's me. Who else was in that? I think Darren was in that. Joel. There's like 5 or 6. Katie might have been in there because Katie. What alien was Katie? I remember she was like fully masked. These are the stunt people. Again, our stunt team, unbelievable, and give them props all day. But yeah, it was like 4 or 5 of us on Manny, and then at the end, it's like me and him in that little moment, and then he pushes me off and slices my calf and runs off to go try and chase her down. Yeah. But that whole fight was really big. But like the thing was with the training, I think I was saying this earlier, or when we were in San Antonio, they give us, we had force training, which was incredible. Every day for about like 30 to 40 minutes. Not every day, maybe like every 2 or 3 days. And then the training itself with the lightsabers, we start with, wooden dowels, and then we move up and we have pipes, and then, the lit up pipes. And they teach us a series of, almost like, look, I joined the Jackie Temple, at least in San Antonio when we were there.
Let's go.
They trained, honestly, very similar to how they trained us in the very beginning. They start with points. You hit points and showing how to hit at each one. You learn kind of like a grid of how to hit, or points to hit access points. And then you try different moves into getting to them and try and get some more, fluorescent with your twirls. And then can go kind of, it's almost like you have a grid and they can just play anything off, go to point A and try it with an undercut, and you know what I mean? So you start to learn the language so that you're able to just kind of fill in the blanks.
Very cool.
It's never like, we weren't just like free form fighting back there. It was all very planned, very organized. And we probably learned 5 or 6 different fights because they'd have to change every other week because the tree got bigger, or the camera has to shoot from out here, or, all the orange stuff, the dust that was floating off in the air because the explosion in the beginning, or in the end of the episode and the beginning of the next episode.
Yeah.
Was
like the end of 4 and then the beginning of 5, right?
Yeah, the orange stuff that they explodes off of the flowers, basically.
Yeah, so cool.
It was cool, but it was like one of those things that props and greenery was having such a difficulty because, obviously we're fighting with lightsabers around there, and they had to redress then all the orange, all the little pieces that, you know what I mean? So it was like, it was a readjusting fight as we were doing it, but a really
cool. Awesome.
Now Daphne's fight was like, mwah, too. That was.
Yeah.
Why can't Yord see? Why is Jackie getting everything that Yord has earned? What is that?
I remember seeing the look on Daphne's face. So like she has Kalnaka's lightsaber, right, and hers gets shortened, or hers gets turned off from the metal in the helmet and his wrist guard, and she uses Kalnaka's to defend herself, and then she's able to turn hers back on, and she just kind of goes, eh. And then like she just. We see a little bit of that inner, she played Laura in Logan, right? Like that inner, like just like that just came right out, and she just went right at Manny, and it was sweet.
Her character and Ahsoka, I feel like, are like lineage. I know that they're different beings entirely, but like their spirits aligned and being kind of like push the button Jedi.
I could see that.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
I was like, I see the two. Like, honestly, if there was a spinoff of just like the two of them and me having to go on missions and like them just enraging me all the time, but then that like succeeding the entire time, you know what I mean?
That's awesome. Funny. Charlie, if you don't mind, real quick, we got a couple questions from some of our listeners that we think would be awesome to ask you here a quick moment. So we have
Death Star, just to clarify.
No, it's all good, man. We've got Stevie Z13. He asked a question. Do you think Yord would have been a great Jedi in the Galactic Republic era with Anakin, Mace Windu, and Obi-Wan?
Wow, that's a hard one for me. Yord is not as malleable as some of those great Jedi. I don't know, we can include Anakin in it. Yeah, God, and it's like it's almost like asking, like, would your grandfather, who was born in 1940, be okay living in 1920 or 2040? I'm like, I don't know. I think he had a different era, and he's like, I can't handle how loosey goosey all this is.
That's a good point.
I mean, literally, even like Mace Windu is out of this whole line. Mace Windu is probably the most like, rigid of the Jedi. Obi-Wan is, I think, one of the best, utmost Jedi around, and is beautiful because he knows the balance of the yin and the yang, kind of, or at least is a little bit more malleable to it. I think that's why he was so good with Anakin. But I think all of them, I'd be like, what is that purple lightsaber? What is going on here? You people need to get it together. No, I don't think he'd be good. I don't think he would have been a great Jedi. It would have been a challenge.
Good question, though.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. Sorry, I'm kind of looking for another one. I know we got a couple here.
I am a Sarasota. I'm in Sarasota right now, and my place is around the corner from the Daiquiri deck. So big up! Oh, I'm so far.
Dude, are y'all close to Anna Maria Island?
Yeah, dude. What?
Yeah. So my family went to Bradenton. My grandma had a place off Cortez in Bradenton for forever, and we'd go down there and hit the Oyster Bar and the Shake Shack and the Red Barn Flea Market, and then we'd go to Anna Maria Island. That's where we stayed there actually a couple months ago, and the Ugly Groupers, shout out to those guys. But I don't need to turn it into a Florida thing. But yeah, dude, we flew into Sarasota, and we go to Anna Maria Island probably once every year, every 2 years. But
anytime anyone mentions Anna Maria Island, I just have to say this because I also just watched that thing about Mary, and I was thinking about Cameron Diaz because she's so good in that movie. But Cameron Diaz lived on Anna Maria Island, and I would go to Anna Maria Island just to walk around and try and be like, where is she? I'm gonna find her.
The Force didn't guide you to her.
Like 10 years old, just like, find me, Cameron. Yes, no, didn't work.
So our next question here, from Zipporah Zaku. Sorry, my screen's a little bit blurry. James, would you mind reading it? It's kind of small font on mine.
It says, okay, I'm sorry your character died, but were you sad it wasn't by a lightsaber and by a neck snap?
I mean, you're right on with me. Yeah, I was sad. I wanted cut my head off at least. Look, I died in, oh no, I didn't die. In Chicago Fire, I didn't die. And there was another show that I was so sad to leave. I was heartbroken when I had to leave. And I was pleading with them. They sent my character to go work in a restaurant with my family. And I was like, what? Let me throw a baby out the window and burn, or let me fall off a cliff trying to save a lady or something. What? I'm just going to a restaurant? That's what this felt like. I was like, you're not gonna slice my heart out or something? Make your die epically. No.
It was shocking though.
It was shocking. That's what Leslie kept telling me too, and I fully agree because I saw it. building up to it, I was making jokes left and right. I was like, "You're just gonna snap my neck, Leslie. You're just gonna snap my neck." But when it came out, she's like, "Trust me, it will be It will be so shocking. People will never see it coming, and that's why it's gonna be amazing." And I was like, 100% agree. 100%.
Yeah, she's right. I was shocked.
Now,
So,
you didn't hear any. You didn't get the scripts after episode 5. So, how many episodes were there again? 8.
8.
So
And
after, like,
2 were flashback right after us, I think, right? Or 1 was, yeah.
so after, like, do they? You're kind of in the dark after the dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, do you not know really anything until you're watching it air live for the first time?
I dug out stuff from Leslie. Like I like definitely like cornered her and was like, "You're gonna tell me something." She did not tell me everything, so I was still surprised when I watched it. But yeah, no, I mean, and that happens a lot. Like that happens a lot. There's sometimes you'll do a whole movie and you don't have the script. They'll just give you scenes. Like, what? You don't need to know anything else. This is just your scene. So get out of here.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's very fun, actually. Yeah.
Did you find out about Plagueis before we saw him as viewer?
I know, but that's why I asked her, because I was like, it has to be like there has to, like who's coming in, like who are you going to pull from, and from the time period it has to be either like one of 3 different people, right? One of 3 different like possible Sith Lords, and she admitted. I remember we were outside, we were talking about our families, like both are like our family dynamics and being away from them in London, and like getting really like deep, and she like under her breath was like, "Okay, I'll tell you, it's Plagueis is coming." And I was like, "What?" And that's when I started going. I was like, "Okay, well then, is Manny gonna be? Well, like, what is this?" Or, yeah. So I was, even when I saw the fingers, moment, I was really happy because I was still thinking like, "Oh, maybe it's gonna." I hope they don't try and, like, how are they gonna make this all work? How is this all gonna make sense? But
What do you think would happen with the twins in the future with how it ended?
I kind of see them as like going off on their own too. Like I mentioned with the stranger becoming well, part of the
Knights of
Knights
Ren.
of Ren.
Ren. Yeah, thank you. I kind of like, correct me if I'm wrong, but we don't ever really know the witch, her mother's group. We don't know what witch troop they are. They could just be kind of ambiguous. They're not. Are they witches of Brendock, or are they, because they're in, where are they? Now I'm getting too deep on. I feel like I should like clarify some of these like answers before I speak. I imagine them like becoming a witch troop, basically. I didn't see them joining into the Force in like a direct Sith or Jedi kind of a way. I kind of saw the twins as like finding each other again and becoming like a very powerful like module or a bond of Force power, but that they were like doing their own thing on the outer rim. You know what I mean? Like we don't even maybe engage with them for some time because they just want to get away from it all. But that might be just kind of like a safe answer of an escapist. But
yeah,
judging from like the characters and what I know from them, like they were like done with everybody. Like I feel like they were like screw all of you. I mean, they're detached by the end of it, but I figured they would have found each other again and realized all we need is each other.
Do you think that kind of would have ended the story with them and Chimere then? Like they would have just gone in different directions? Because it felt like it was getting romantic with them at the end.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
Weren't they like holding hands or something at the very last scene?
Oh God, this gets into things that I can't really say. There was a bunch of like switcheroo play going to be going on there. So I think a lot of that romance stuff was like a tactic, a safety tactic. And I thought it was going to play against in the long run. Do you get what I'm saying? Like that was going to utilize it to get him close to her and bring his bars down and then use it against him when she. And but that is not like, that is, no one has said any of that. That was totally Charlie Barnett.
Yeah.
Going off on his own.
It's interesting.
I never even like, I wish I had asked Amandla about some of that, or even like Manny, some of that stuff, but because like, once we were done too, we were done. And they had filmed a little bit of those scenes, or a little bit of episode like 7 and 8 because I think they filmed most of that in Wales and they had to shoot that before we went to Madeira to film our stuff on the island, like the stuff with Manny and her and May. Manny and Osha, sorry. And we never got like a chance. Like we played chess a lot through it together, like as a group. Let me tell you, Amandla is a pro chess player. I lost to her every time. But a lot of us in the group, Daphne would play with her, and some of our costume team would sit and play together, and we'd just chat about like life or random stuff. And every once in a while, we talk about like, what is your character doing right now? Where are you going? Because I don't know. I don't know that part. And she'd let us know. But I wish I'd asked more. I really wish I should have. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you were trying to get info. It sounds like you were.
Homie, there was a day that like, was it wow, I'm totally blanking. Kalnaka came on, the Wookiee, and it was very like it was the same day that Kathleen was there with us and came to set, and so it was like a big day. Everybody was like, big things happening, right? And everyone was like, you can't have your camera even out. Don't even take your camera out. You can't, like, no pictures, no nothing. And I was the first person to sneak a camera and take a picture of Kalnaka. Like, I was doing all the fandom bad things that I could. I'm gonna totally get. I'm gonna never work for Disney again.
We have another question online. Such a great guest, aside from Basil, the garment sniffing gopher. Yord was my favorite character in the show. Such a Star Wars character if there ever was one. Can't wait to see what he does next.
Oh, thank you, Travis. And Basil is honestly one of the best characters ever. True. I will take second to Basil any day.
Was that interesting working with a character like that? Like they're completely digital?
No, Basil's a human being.
Wait, what?
Basil was like the little.
I remember Basil. I just didn't know there was someone in the costume.
Oh, that's a full-on person. Yeah, he was incredible. God, I'm blanking on his name. Because we were there for a week filming that kind of stuff, so we didn't have as much time as I wish we could have. Because he was hilarious. We had a great dinner together in Madeira. But yeah, he's worked with Star Wars with the Creature Company for many, many years and plays a bunch of different creatures all the time. The creature work, if any of you all ever get to go on a set, I mean, it was the one thing that like had me floored walking away. And I didn't expect it. I thought, okay, it's gonna be the lightsaber, it's gonna be the set, it's gonna be all the cool stuff. The people, the characters. But it was like the background creatures that I was just like standing and staring at for like 40 hours. Because it's like 6 different people working these insane detailed machines that their cheeks move and their eyes and each one has a different control and they all stay in character. Like they're better actors than any of us. Like they're all living as that creature and can have a full conversation with you off set. It was awesome. It was awesome. I mean,
that's awesome. That is really cool.
Crazy cool job.
We have another question from YouTube. Did they let you keep any props or secretly took one from the set?
No, I think you guys can clearly know that I definitely stole things from the set. Pretty clear. Yeah, I stole things. Yes, I did. Yeah, sorry, Disney. Mickey is going to be knocking. I'm in Florida too. He's close, right?
Paper clips, of course, right? Just paper clips.
Yeah. I stole my boots that I cherish and I have yet to wear outside yet, but I have them sitting in my closet like a glorious statue to Star Wars. I tried to steal my plastic lightsaber. I could not, and they are very on top of those. I really wanted my robe. But I knew I was like, I don't want to get Jennifer in trouble, and I was like, I can't steal that. That's like too noticeable. I always steal some like boxers or some socks. Every set I work on. So damn bad. I swear I do pay for things too. I do. I really do. But
who wouldn't want to take something from the set? Anybody would want to. Like they gotta let the actors have something from that role.
I wish I had gotten like, some Wookiee fur. It's yak fur. I didn't know that. I learned that when we were talking. Or just, something like a stone or something like a rock or something. But I didn't do that. I didn't do that at all. Daphne fell on a couple of mushrooms. Like there would be a couple times, she's a tiny one. She's an itty bitty. And so like that big scene when we're all like standing in, I think we had just gone to Kalnucka's like hidden fort and realized he's dead or not there. I can't remember at the point that he's either dead then.
I think they find him dead, right? In the
Yeah,
chair.
right. We find him dead. Yeah, because OSHA comes first.
Maybe May finds him dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's what.
Yeah, I gotta watch it again. But I'm sure someone will clarify it for us. But at that point, we all turn, and it's like right before the explosion, the big force explosion, and we all like go flying, and before the cut of into the next episode.
Yeah.
And Daphne had to run. Oh, she's gonna hate me for this, but Daphne had to run forward into this like little field, and they had these tiny little mushrooms put all over, which all of the rest of us are just like leaping over, and Daphne just keeps. And we like, okay, start over. We walk back, and we're like, go again, and we run, and we leap over, and Daphne's just all flat on her face. Like lightsaber. She's like, these freaking mushrooms!
That's funny.
Daphne and I joked about taking the mushrooms. We were gonna steal one, but we never did. Yes.
That's great.
Okay, I think this is gonna be our final question. Tough question for Charlie. Who's your favorite Star Wars stuff member?
Man,
wow.
I think James wrote that question.
I did listen to your episode last week, which was the celebrity encounters, and I did hear that you all thought that we had a twinkle in our eye for Zach because he got us to say all kinds of crazy things. You made us feel very comfortable, but I'm gonna be safe and I'm gonna say Mary because she's not on here.
Good call. Well played, sir.
I think that's the best answer you could have.
She'll be happy to hear it too.
But Charlie, thank you so much for joining. I know we could probably go on for another 5 hours.
Unless there's anything last he wants to say before he goes. Anything he wants to promote?
I know who blew up the Death Star. I know.
You know who blew up. It was Jar Jar, right? You said it already. It was Jar Jar.
Jar Jar. Jeez.
It's out there, guys.
Yeah.
You have anything coming up you want to promote, or a website or anything like that?
Yes, I'm gonna be on a new show. I have 2 movies actually that are kind of 3 movies that are circling around right now through like the festival kind of route. One is called Dreams and Nightmares. One of the. I'm deeply proud to just be involved with this film. It's incredibly beautiful. Danny Benton, incredible great cast, and great creator Shantara. I also have another movie called Imposters. If you've ever seen Happy Death Day with Jessica Roth. Nope, none of you. Okay. I don't know that. It's a movie. It's a kind of a horror comedy kind of flick about a girl who keeps dying on her birthday and reliving the day. I was on Russian Doll, obviously, but the 2 of us are doing this kind of horror thriller movie called Imposters that has a little bit of a sci-fi thrill moment to it, but just funny because we're both, death recycle people. And then I have another movie that should be coming out fairly soon called Bookends, created by Noam Ash, an incredible comedian, actor, person. But it's F. Murray Abraham, Caroline, myself, and so with names, and Noam, all in it together. Noam created it, and it's like a really beautiful story about grandparents and connection and family. So all very different, like a little thriller, a little something else. But then I'm going to be on a TV show on NBC. Starting in September, I'm not sure what days. I think Mondays at 10 o'clock, called Line of Fire, which is, honestly, it's still kind of new to me, and I don't know where we're going to be going with it, but it's about Secret Service. It's about a family within the Secret Service, and our mother is the head of the Marshals, our father is the former head of the Secret Service, and that's Peter Krause playing our father, and Hope Davis playing my stepmom, but mom. Great group of people, yeah.
Very cool. You got a lot going on.
Hey.
And of course, Yord will be back in season 2 of The Acolyte, right?
Yes. Put it out there. Just put it out into the universe. I'll call the mouse. We'll see what we can get working down here. Yeah.
Yoda just did some neck surgery for you, and
Put him in the back of the tank. It cures everything, apparently.
In a brace the whole time. Honestly, I kind of want to go to my next like con signing and wear a brace just in case.
Do it.
That's a funny bit.
Do it. People will
come out on
that.
stage where they're wearing it.
I was hoping to come to Rebel Scum. I know a lot of people. Are you guys all going to Rebel Scum?
David from who you met. David will be there at Rebel Scum. Yes.
Yeah, I was trying to make it out to that, but I don't know that I'm gonna be able to because of this new show. I mean, we're filming for it, but yeah. If a day comes, I'll just go sneak into the audience and razz Manny, because Manny will be there. Manny, Dean, and I think Jonas, who plays Arkal Naka, who's also when he plays a bunch of different creatures too, a couple different times, and a bunch of different.
And there's always next year.
There's always next year and years to come. Yeah, I'm hooked now. So.
Yep,
awesome.
The fans love meeting you guys. Believe it or not, it's a huge deal to get to meet somebody in a show, especially like Star Wars.
Yeah, the feeling is mutual. It's hard to say that. Like, I want to be fully honest. It's hard to say that when it's like people are paying to come in line to see you, but it's like it's a joy for me too, and that's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna walk around and just meet people. You don't all have to like pay to talk to me. That's weird. Like, we can just like also hang. I don't know. I'm still trying to find my own comforts with it too, but it's that side of the world too is difficult. But I really, really enjoy just talking to people. Obviously, you can see they'll talk.
You might change your mind after this episode.
Oh no.
No, man, the fans are going to be happy to see you at any convention you go to.
Absolutely, 100%.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for having me.
No problem. And we would like to thank our listeners and everyone who commented. Sorry we couldn't get to all your questions. We had a lot of questions coming up, Charlie, just so you know. People were, but unfortunately, we only have a little bit of time. But yeah, again, thank you very much, Charlie. And on behalf of Zach and Craig, I am James, and this is the Star Wars Stuff Podcast. And may the Force be with you always. Mm-hmm. And Charlie, if you want to say a really good Star Wars quote right now, please feel free to say it right now as we sign off.
God, what the heck?
His quote is, "I know who blew up the Death Star."
I blew up the Death Star, Luke. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for listening. Y'all take care.
Thank you, Greg.